Yes, yes, yes. All the yeses, all the way yes. Welcome. I'm so excited and honored to continue to stream live with you here on YouTube every Wednesday at noon to explore the deepest, most tender subjects around spirituality, business, sales, money. You're living your very best life. And I can't think of a better time to be having this platform already established than right now, in the midst of the biggest global crisis that I have witnessed. And when I say biggest, I don't know that we can fully compare crises, but this has touched me on a personal level more deeply than anything in my lifetime that I can remember. And I feel really grateful, actually, to be invited into this new level of collaboration and sweetness with my fellow human beings. There's a lot of opportunities. Like we're at a bunch of forks in the road that we can all relate to. We have many things arising that can draw fear and anxiety into our bodies. And it's kind of the same stimulus. It's much more universal than I'm used to. And at the same time, we've got equal opportunity to choose love in a way that we never have before. And so I think it's super fun to be here because I had already planned the content for this in February before I knew that we would be in quarantine. And now here we are, we're in quarantine. I don't even know if it's official or not. That's just that's the approach that makes the most sense for how we can support everyone and ourselves. And here we are. The subject of today is how to be the impression of increase. And really, this is a topic of love. This is a topic of healing. This is a topic of generosity. This is a topic of tapping into the biggest, most infinite resources that we have available and using them to catalyze service, devotion, healing in every moment to moment. So I'm super inspired. I'm super excited. And I'm very, very curious to know how you're doing today. Where are you streaming in from? What's up for you? Are you feeling like you're on the edge and you're excited about what's happening? Are you feeling kind of scared? Are you somewhere in between? Like, what's going on for you? I would love to hear. So chat anything and everything throughout this conversation. Part of the reason that I love doing lives is because it means that I can actually have the experience of real-time interaction with you guys. So please take advantage of that. Let me know where you are, who you are, what you're thinking, what's resonating, what questions are coming up. I'm here. I like responding. I like responding to what's coming up. Yes, 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 yes. Great. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Yes. So I'm going to start with, hi, Tanny. I've been thinking about you guys so much, man. I love that you're here. Thanks for letting me know. Give me a wave. And welcome, Christina. I love that you're in a place of excitement and expansion. It's such a special thing. Really worth celebrating that you were able to find that in the first place. Shri and I made a post this morning, which I'm actually going to bring in some of the language that I wrote there. But we realized as we were crafting language for it that it was and inspiring and uplifting, and at the same time acknowledge the tenderness and fear that people are experiencing. That this is not like la 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 la, everything's fine. It's like no, like shit's real. And I've never been quarantined before. I've never experienced rations in my life before. I've never this is real. And what's here for us, and just the truth that anyone that I'm talking to has a position of leadership that it just means you are here to give more at this time. And if you're here to give more, it means you're here to receive more. They go together. Your capacity to give is your capacity to receive. Your capacity to receive is your capacity to give. These are non-different. So let's use this time together to really deepen in that vein and bring all of yourself to the table. We're going to do a couple of meditations. I'm going to read you some poems. We're going to talk about some big ideas. Yes, 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 yes. Tell me what you love. Those of you that are smiling, giving hearts, tell me what's resonating. Because sometimes partly it's just like good communication, but also the the timing doesn't always land, so I don't know what you're responding to, so just give me a little extra. All right, first poem. I read this poem so often, it's relevant in so many different contexts. Here it is again, The Guest House by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. Hello, coronavirus. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. This is a poem, I most recently actually heard this poem at a meditation retreat where the teacher was basically using this as a meditation instruction, right? Like when your eyes are closed and you're trying to quiet the mind, that you're still welcoming everything. You're welcoming every experience, every thought, every emotion, every distraction. Like you set boundaries with it, but like in order to actually be in the practice, you have to welcome. Otherwise you end up fighting yourself, and then that's not meditative. So it came up in that context most recently. I teach this almost every time I lead a workshop or event. It's like, this is how I begin, because I'm the master of taking people into their discomfort, wherever their edges are. I want to like get them there right away. So it's so helpful when doing that work to explicitly kind of bring in that welcoming power. And I'm sharing it with you guys today for two additional reasons. One is the identity of the one who welcomes is an abundant entity. I learned this, I maybe like when I moved to New York City, sometime after, like, so early adulthood, I started going to parties, going to bars, going to various social events, and I was not comfortable. I was not comfortable in social spaces. And like, as socially adept as I am, I just felt very awkward in that context where it wasn't clear what I was doing or how I was supposed to behave or who I should talk to. So many decisions to make at once. Anybody relate to that? Like, that's not my mastery. And then I noticed how I was when I was having people over to my house for dinner, or when I was hosting a class or a party or whatever. I was the host. I didn't have that anxiety. And so then I started to just pretend. Like, I would go to parties, I would go to the bar, I would go to, networking events, whatever, that I wasn't hosting, but pretend I was hosting on the inside. It's not like trying to actually compete with the actual host, but just energetically to bring that sort of like, yeah, come on in. Welcome, how are you doing? And immediately saw the massive transformation that happened in how I was showing up and what I was actually serving out. Like, I was a much more generous human to my fellow people when I was playing the role of host. And so The Guest House, this poem encapsulates that energy. And you can apply it internally and you can apply it externally. When you apply it externally, you can apply it to human beings and their experience. You can apply it to global crises. So, like, welcome, coronavirus. What is it that you are here to teach us? I'm listening. And what I can say about that, just on a real personal level, is that I am acknowledging the privilege that I have. I like to stay in my home. I would never have used the word quarantine, but the fact is that an actual quarantine is probably significantly less different for me than it is for most people, because I already work from home. I already love being home. I already kind of resist going out. And so in many ways, this has been, I think, an easier transition for me than a lot of people. In addition to the fact that my business is designed to work online, so I don't have to make any big changes. Even the event that I had this past weekend, which was supposed to be a live retreat in person, we booked a venue and we had all these things in person organized. We shifted that very last minute, just the day before, to being virtual. Even that was actually pretty seamless for us because we're so prepared to be online. So I'm very aware of that privilege. And I think it's taken me longer to acknowledge the truth and the seriousness of what's going on because of that. Partly because I was just sheltered from it. And then even when it happened, it was hard for me to appreciate what was really going on. So I feel very humbled and very grateful. As that shift has actually come through, I think it's still in process for me, but as I'm like being more with what's happening, there is a quality of pause. There is a quality of reflection. There is a quality of like urgency / curiosity / freak out, depending on the moment, of like, oh, wait, what? Like, how am I, wait, I can't produce a live event until August? Like, wait, what? Like, oh, I don't get to control, I don't get to make these, wait, what? I have to wash my avocados before I cut them? Excuse me, like, wait, I can't buy whatever food I want in the grocery. Like, all those moments are creating just enough like mental dissonance, cognitive dissonance to give some more space. Oh, what else could I do here? And so one of the things that's emerging as a result is that Shri and I are talking about our collaboration in a way that we've never talked about before, never taken seriously before. And I can't really say more to you about that because I don't know where it's going to go. We're just beginning the conversation, but it feels very ripe and real to me that there is increase here for all of us. 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 And that in fact, we have been preparing for this moment. All of you have been preparing, whether you knew it or not, to show up ready to serve when other people are really in struggle, when other people are really being challenged. And not that you aren't also being challenged. We are all being challenged, but that you guys, you have more stores through your spiritual practice, through your business, through your innovation, through all the personal development work that you've already done. You are better prepared to show up in increase, in generosity, in abundance in this crisis than the average person. And to walk through the world knowing that you are better resourced than average. You guys with me there? Does that resonate? Just checking. It says unable to connect to chat. Please try again later. So somebody text right now. Just let me see if that's working or not. So this being a human is a guest house. Yes. And part of what's coming into your guest house right now is an opportunity to serve more, to host more, to welcome more. Welcome the joy, the depression, the meanness in yourself, and in doing so for yourself, in others. Some momentary awareness as an unexpected visitor. Welcome that awareness in yourself so that you carve out the space to welcome it in others. Expect it from others. The world is showing up in phenomenal ways right now. I've never seen this amount of like global bonding, frankly. So I don't know why I can't see your chat, but just so you know, if I'm not responding, it's because I can't see it yet. I'm hoping that YouTube clicks in and here in a minute. Welcome and entertain them all. Yes to this experience. Yes to all the people having their experience. Yes. It doesn't mean that you get like put yourself as a doormat and let everybody walk over you. Like being the host of this guest house does not mean that you get stepped on. Just means that your role in the house is that of welcoming. Hello, come in. How can I meet you? How can I serve you? How can I make you comfortable? Would you like some tea? Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Coronavirus is clearing us out big time. Quarantine is clearing us out. Anything that's not an immediate, clear impression of increase is no longer necessary. It's not helping. It's not here for us anymore. Our sight has been cleared, right? 2020 Vision's promise is showing up loud and clear right now. Clear vision, clear discernment. What is serving, what is not serving? Treat each guest honorably. You don't know what's coming. You just know something's coming. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door, laughing, and invite them in. I'll be honest, one of my most tender moments in this whole process was actually realizing that I have fear. I do. I don't go into it very much. I have a very high standard around how I respond to my fear. But what I think that actually there was to some extent, I was just like, no, I'm not afraid. And then I was like, oh, no, actually, I am. There was an opportunity that I had to go out and meet with a group in person. It was almost a week ago, and I decided to join on Zoom instead. And I realized why would I have done that if I didn't have I do have some fear. It might be 1%, but let me feel that. Let me feel that as a way of generously connecting to humanity. Because there's a lot of fear in the world right now. So even the parts that are uncomfortable, the dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. They are not going to terrorize you unless you let them, right? Meeting them at the door laughing is your way of playing host. It is your way of bringing and being that love, being that impression of increase. Be grateful for whatever comes. Because each has been sent as a guide from beyond, I think you can also say be grateful for whatever comes. Gratitude is a practice for seeing everything as a guide from beyond. It's very potent. So I was going to read you the second poem, but I think I'm going to save that for next week. We'll have another poem next week. I'm just going to read what I posted on social media this morning. In our quarantine, we are feeling into opportunities that were banging at the door and needed us to get quiet in order to notice. I can't I'm going to continue to give Shri and I this space to kind of vision without committing to anything here. We're still in that opening, but there's something significant for us that has been here. The opportunity has been here for at least a year, maybe 10. And we have not seen it until now. And so I actually think it was banging. I think it was loudly banging. And we were so busy and caught up in ourselves and our lives and the momentum of what was going on that we just couldn't see it. We couldn't hear it. We couldn't perceive it. And that I think that's true for everyone. Our change of state is being so affected. We can't not see new opportunities, see new perspectives. This is a time for more love, not less, more creativity, not less, more innovation, not less. This, by the way, is what it means to be an entrepreneur. Anyone here who's in service, in your own business, self-employed, running your own show, CEO, this is what business requires. Every day, all day. This is not an occasional thing. Business requires creativity and innovation. So using this as an opportunity to stoke your relationship with that, to feel your own resourcefulness, to feel your own creativity, to collaborate with the circumstances that you're in order to give more, not less. More service, not less. More collaboration, not less. More money, not less. That's very important. I do not encourage you guys to buy into the idea that you need to sacrifice your financial resources in order to thrive during this time. It doesn't really make sense. If you're here to serve more, that means more money is here for you as well. More giving, that's another part of the visioning is thinking about how to give back in a new way right now, whether that means offering more services to certain people for free. I'm toying with that idea. I saw some people playing with that. I'm trying that on, but perhaps also just donating a part of every sale that I make over the next few months to supporting someone who isn't employed themselves. Maybe it's just building my team and I'm tuning into collaborating with you guys to really feel into that, but to more giving, not less. More resilience, more health, more support. This is a time for more, not less. Get curious. You know how to be curious. Tap into your imagination. You love to play with your imagination. There is possibility in this new form of things, even when it's challenging. There is a new opening. Look through it and see what's waiting for you. The doors are open wide, and they are opening wider and wider every day, every hour. The truth is, this is always true. This is always true. And there's just deepening and increasing opportunities to see it, right? The more extreme the contrast is, the more opportunity we got for transformation. So lean in. All right. Let's talk about the impression of increase. I want to give that language. Some of you guys may know that already, and some of you may not. I still can't read your chat. I have no idea why, but my team is telling me that you guys are rocking and rolling. So I will just make a point of looking back at this later and continue to pray that YouTube clicks on. So this book is called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, written about 100 years ago. And it's like scripture, spiritual scripture, and it just happens to include money. It's not really even about money, even though the title says The Science of Getting Rich. It's much more about how to live a good life and how to be of service. So it's like when Shri and I talk about the scriptures that we refer to most, Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Byron Katie. I want to keep reading you books, but I'm just going to move on. Oh, Paul Selig for sure. This is one of them. Okay, good stuff here. So chapter 14 is called The Impression of Increase. This language comes from him. I'm just going to read a short portion of it. Increase is what all humans are seeking. I'm going to just transpose just a little bit to make it more contemporary. It is the urge of the formless intelligence within them seeking fuller expression. Okay, so increase, what he's saying basically is that we're all here to grow. We're all here to expand. We're all here to increase all the time. This desire for increase is inherent in all nature, not just human beings. It is the fundamental impulse of the universe. And if you look through that lens, what you'll see is that all human activities are based on the desire to increase. More food, more clothes, better shelter, more luxury, more beauty, more knowledge, more pleasure, more life. So if you like that, give it a thumbs up. This is critical principle teaching about what it means to be alive. And the understanding that our life force is wanting more. The nature of the soul is to want more all the time. That's why our desire is a worthwhile thing to explore, even, and in fact, especially as spiritual seekers. It's not the not spiritual part of us. It's not the material part of us. We have material desires too, but the soul has desire. The spirit has desire, and that desire is for more life force, more life energy to move through. And so anytime you feel the contraction, it will feel because it's out of alignment with what your purpose actually is. And that doesn't mean it's bad. That's often the wake-up call to be like, oh yeah, I want to give more, not less. So it's part of the power actually of the post. I'm just making that connection now as I'm speaking about it, that, right, this is a time for more, not less. Even as Trader Joe's tells you you can only buy 2 boxes of frozen macaroni and cheese instead of 10, like you would like to at the beginning of the apocalypse, right? It looks like less on the material level, but you got to trust that your soul is here for more. This chapter goes on to explore that, okay, so basically he's defining increase is what every living thing is reaching for. Quotes Jesus, talks about how desire for more wealth isn't evil. It's simply a desire for more life. It's natural. But then it shifts into being that increase for everyone in your life. Showing up as that increase, so that when you, right, you recognize you want more, and he's talking about like free yourself to want more. This is natural. This is good. You don't need to like shame yourself for wanting more or whatever. That's all very important. But then really the power of the impression of increase is about how you can be that increase in the lives of others. Hold the vibration of that increase in the lives of others, because you know for sure that's what they're looking for too. People are freaking out right now at the heart because they're afraid of having less health, less money, less freedom, less food, less. And it makes sense. I mean, that's the contrast is here for sure. We can't get the more that we want in the same way. We're all being called to be more resourceful, more resilient, more creative than before. So your opportunity as spiritual teachers, as healers, as coaches, as people who facilitate and guide others in their transformation is to hold to this belief that more is available not only for you, but for everyone else. I'm doing it right now. This whole last 26 minutes, I've been practicing very over the top, by the way, being the impression of increase. There is more, there's more, there's more, there's more. I'm telling you there's more. I'm feeling that there's more. I'm personally showing up as more, like I'm more on than I necessarily always am, to make sure to be that generosity, to show up in that increase, to hold that vision for you so that you do not feel all alone out there in scarcity, stuck in toleration. Fuck that. So is there more about the impression of increase? I think there is. Let me. This is not about bragging or boasting about your success or talking about it unnecessarily. It's about faith. It's about living in your own faith, being your own faith, stepping into the next level of that faith and expressing that in the world. So feel the faith. Let it work out in every transaction. Let every act and tone and look express quiet assurance that you are increased, that you are getting rich, that you are already rich. Words are not necessary to communicate this feeling to others. This shows up in how you answer the phone. It shows up in the energy underneath your text messages. It shows up in how loving you are, how much of the welcomer you are in every interaction you have. When you show up that way, people will sense the increase in you when in your presence and will be attracted to you, because that's what everybody's looking for. You must so impress others. And I just like this concept of impression is cool, because it's like impress, like make them wow. And at the same time, impress, like make, you know, I think about when I was a kid and I would push like a coin or a toy into a ball of clay or Play-Doh or something, like to make an impression in that soft matter. So you want to be the impression of increase. Hold that three-dimensional imprint. People will go where they are given increase, and the Supreme, which desires increase in all and which knows all, will move toward you, the human beings who have never heard of you. Your business will increase rapidly, and you will be surprised at the unexpected benefits which will come to you. So I recommend reading that chapter. It's available online. You can listen to it for free on all audio platforms. It's a great, great, great resource. I'm going to stay on a little longer than a half hour today, because I just want to like touch on a few things. Let this be an epidemic of love. Let your life right now be defined by an epidemic, a pandemic of love, that you are initiating, that you are participating, that you are side by side, arm in arm, back to back with your peers, just shining your heart out into the world. And start with yourself. So I think what we're going to do actually is do another live later this week on Friday with the loving kindness meditation. Because I think that that'll be a really good support. So stay tuned. We'll do the loving kindness meditation in the next installment, because I just want to have a little bit more time with that. But loving kindness meditation is basically just in your silent practice, sending love, safety, happiness, health to yourself, to your loved ones, to people that you don't even know, to the collective, to the whole universe. And it's such a simple practice. And I think that one of the key pieces that often gets lost in spiritual circles is that you got to give it to yourself. So the language could sound like, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be safe, may I be joyful, may I feel loved, may I feel love, may I flow with love, may I be safe, may I be healthy. And I honestly, it's such a simple practice. It's been around since forever. Definitely my whole life, this meditation has been practiced, all over the world. It's time to come back to it. It's the right practice for right now. It is the impression of increase stoking practice. And starting with yourself is really, really important. So this is abundance. And the truth is you can't give what you don't have, right? Like you can't of increase if you don't feel it in yourself. You can't impress upon others that you feel their health and wellness and joy and love and happiness if you cannot receive that, if you can't cultivate that in yourself. So it's very important that you are using this time to nourish. Your service cannot be one of self-sacrifice, and it should not be one of scarcity. I got super annoyed this morning, actually. I saw someone posting, they were offering like a free meditation to their community, and like I think they're doing it every day, inviting someone to come to their meditate, which I love, by the way. I think that's beautiful. But then they posted on their wall how hard like life is right now because all their gigs are getting canceled and they're not making money. And I just felt like, yeah, bro, like clean it up, like the impression of increase all the time. You can't on one hand be like, I got so much to give you, come to my meditation every day. And then on the other side, be like, I got nothing. I'm like really freaked out. Let me say that differently, right? We welcome both parts. We welcome it all. The experience is real. The feelings are real. But the truth is the truth. And the truth is there's more than enough all the time, starting immediately. You just got to turn your attention onto that. And so it's very important also for you guys, like you best take care of your finances right now. You're irresponsible in your business and your life if you're not doing that. Doesn't matter what circumstances are happening outside. That's your job. That's your one job, to take care of you, to make sure that your roots are watered. And then from there, to use this opportunity to shine like you've never shone before. To serve like you've never served before, to love like you've never loved before. And expect to meet others in that same love game, to devote yourself to that love game. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's it. That's what I got for you. Oh, I really, really, really want to see what you guys are saying. Let me just tune in for a second and see if there's more that I can telepathically connect to. I think that what's coming up for me is that I really want to know where you're getting stuck. And that the money piece isn't an exception and actually needs to be included right now. So the example that I just gave of this guy whose wall I saw, to like really lean into those questions in yourself. Those are the right questions to be asking. There's an opportunity for our spiritual communities to be up-leveling their understanding of money right now. more than ever before, to really focus on coming into your mastery around how to live in this abundance no matter what. And so we're planning all kinds of things. There's going to be a lot more, but like immediately, if you have questions about that, I would love to hear about it on comments here in YouTube. You can direct message me on any social media platform. You can email me, Jessie@jessiejohnsoncoaching.com. Like, let me know how we can help. And for yourself to just practice loving kindness. I will come back. I'm just committing right now. I'm going to come back on Friday. When I get this hair out of my eye. Whew, there it is. And lead a little loving kindness meditation. It's super simple. I won't be saying a whole lot, but we'll do that together. Let's say at the same time, noon on Friday. I'm putting it in my calendar right now. Loving kindness meditation, noon p.m. Pacific. So you can start to play with that with yourself between now and then. And then just really lean into like, where is your growth edge around all of this? Where do you struggle to step into being the host, being the welcomer? Where do you struggle to make sure that your financial demands are met? And ask yourself those tender questions in service of being of more service to others. This is not, you're not going to stay focused on yourself. You're going to focus on yourself, get yourself taken care of, and then shine that capacity out into the world. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love you so much. So excited to read what I missed in the chat and respond to anything that you guys have for me. On Friday in our live for loving kindness meditation, and then next Wednesday, which will be a really potent, powerful reflection, also informed by our times. So enjoy the journey. Take care of yourselves. Give yourself a lot of like touch, compression, love, right? Especially if you don't live with people that you can hug all the time. If you live with people that you can hug all the time, hug them more often than you usually do. Enjoy pictures of bunnies, baby bunnies, and, you know, like give yourself some doses of really juicy love and entertainment to nourish your heart, and just continue to cultivate that devotion to your vision, your purpose. This is no exception. It's calling you to a higher standard, and we're all cheering you on, loving you so much.